Okay, so in this video we'll be talking about the introduction to solve equations. There's an assignment that you guys will be given, but today I only ask you guys to take notes and make sure that you soak up this lesson and just lock in on the details. Okay, so we start off with what does it mean to solve an equation? What does that even mean, right? If I gave you an equation like x plus 3 equals 5, okay, and I asked you guys, what does it mean to solve that? Some people might say, okay, it means take 3 from both sides. Some people might say it means 2, right? There's a lot of different answers. Some people will tell me when I say, what does it mean to solve an equation? They say it means find the answer, okay? But that's pretty much the same thing, right? Because the word solve means to find the solution, and solution means answer. So we can't really go around in a circle, okay? So the truth is that what it means to solve an equation is it means to find the value of the variable, in this case x, that makes the equation true, okay? You can do this by guessing and checking, but the best way is to do algebra because then you can be sure that you find all the possible solutions that there actually are. So in this case, you can see that the number that makes it true is 2 because 2 plus 3 is 5. So there is no other solution to this equation. The only number in the whole universe that makes it true is x. So x equals 2. So at this point, let's jump into this assignment that I made, okay? And we'll be looking at this eventually. But the first part I want to talk about after you guys represent the answer to number 1 by telling me that it means to find the number that makes the equation true. Okay, we'll look at number 2, and I want you guys to tell me which of the following are solutions to this equation. So how would I figure that out? Well, as we said, it's the number that makes it true. So what I can do is plug in these values and see which one of them actually makes it true, okay? Is it true that 3 times a number is going to give me 100? Well, what is the number? It depends, right? Well, let's see. Let's try this one. Let's try plugging in 0. Okay, when I plug in 0, I get 3 times 0. 3 times 0 is 0. 0 plus 10 is 10. Okay, so what we're really doing is we're checking to see if this is true. But wait a minute. Is 10 equal to 100? No. That's false. And what that means is that this is not the solution. Okay? Or not a solution. So we have to try another number. Okay? So we could go ahead and try 3. Let's try 3. That's a small number, right? It won't take us too long to do that. So 3 times 3 is 9. And 9 plus 10 is 19 instead of 10 like we had last time. And this is also false, right? 19 is not equal to 100. So that means that when I plug in 3, I do not get a true equation. So this cannot be the solution, okay? You want to try another one, though. Let's try 30, okay? What happens if I put 30 in here? Let's go try this value. We're going to see if it works, okay? Well, what's 3 times 30? Hopefully you can do that in your head, and you get that it's 90. What was 90 plus 10? 90 plus 10 is equal to 100. So this time, it looks like we actually have two things that are the same. On the left side, we have 100, and on the right side, we have 100. This is true, and this is what I'm trying to tell you when I mean that it makes the equation true. Okay, 30, if I plug it in and multiply and follow all the steps, I get something true. And so that means that this is a solution to the equation. Okay? But there's another solution in this case up here, okay? Because 90 divided by 3 is also equal to 30, right? And so that would be another answer that you had. So maybe I snuck that one past you, but I had intended for you guys to select both of those as the answer, okay? Sometimes there will be more than one correct answer. So at this point, I hope you guys understand a solution, again, means the number that makes the equation true. We're going to jump into some basic one-step and two-step equations now to just see how they feel. Okay, to start off doing these problems, again, we want to work with inverse operations. So to solve an equation, what I want to do is I would like to have the x by itself and all of the other numbers on the other side. So what I want to do is move this 18 to the other side of the equation. And the way to do that is going to be to actually do the opposite of subtracting 18. We're going to add 18 to both sides of this equation. Okay? And by doing that, we get negative 17 right here, and therefore we have our answer, so we can move on to the next one. Okay, and again, that's one step, so we can't really talk about much because there's not much to talk about. So the one-step equations, you should be happy when you get there because it's already over, basically. You just have to do a calculation. Okay, so we've seen to get rid of a negative, I have to add. But how do I get rid of a positive, right? If I want to move that positive 6 to the other side, I have to subtract 6 from each side. Okay, and 10 minus 6 gives me 4. Therefore, we got this thing that we need, right? And we can plug that back in to double check, right? Is it true that 4 plus 6 makes 10? Yeah, it is. And so you know that we have the correct answer. So always fall back on that definition of solve. So we have some addition problems, okay? How would we do this one? Check yourself right now. What would you do? Okay, in this case, we would subtract 2 from both sides of the equation, and you get negative 4 minus 2 is negative 6. Okay, so k is equal to negative 6, and you could realize 2 minus 6 is equal to negative 4. Okay, so 2 plus negative 6 gives me the right answer, and that's why we know that's the solution. Okay, so we see we got a bunch of addition and subtraction ones you guys will try in class. Again, for this one, I'll add 20 to both sides, and that'll be able to solve the answer. Okay, in this case, I'll add 18 to both sides because I want to undo this one step of subtraction. Now let's make it to this next set. So the first 10 were all addition problems, right? And now we're going to get to the ones where you need to do a little bit of division and multiplication. So in this case, we have to think not about adding or subtracting anything. That's not going to help us here. In this case, I want to undo multiplication. Okay, so what that means is here I want to divide both sides by 7. Okay, dividing both sides by 7 cancels out these two 7s, and now we just get k by itself, and 56 divided by 7 is 8 because 8 times 7 is 56. So this is how you would find the answer. And again, you could double check. You could do 7 times 8. Is 7 times 8 equal to 56? Yes. And so since it makes the equation true, that's the answer. Okay, so we're still looking at one-step equations. Okay, so what would I do in this problem to both sides? In this case, I'm going to multiply both sides by 20. Okay, multiplying both sides by 20 will end up giving me 360. Okay, for 12 on this one. So how would I do this one? Try to do this problem on your own. What's the first step? There's only one step. So the first step is also the last step. I'll rewrite the equation over here to get a little bit more room. And then I want you guys to realize that I'm just going to multiply both sides by 14. Okay, so use parentheses. And then you have to watch out because these 14s are going to cancel out and we'll give v. That was the whole reason why we multiplied by 14. We wanted to get rid of that 14 on bottom, but now it just showed up over here, right? So notice the 14 that was getting divided is now getting multiplied. So you want to be careful because this was multiplication, so we probably want to have parentheses around that too. And this means we're multiplying that out. So you would do your 14 times negative 17, and that's what you would type for your answer. And so you get your negative 238. Okay, so like I said, this is mainly about the one-step equations, just the basics of going backwards and undoing operations. So for this one right here, what would I do? We're dividing by 19. So in this case, I want to multiply both sides by 19. Okay, so multiplying both sides by 19 is going to make on the left-hand side, we'll get 19 times 7, and that gives us 133. Okay, in this problem, how would I solve this one though? I'll do a couple more before this video is over. Okay, well, to solve this equation, I need to realize what is it that I want to get rid of. I want to have the b by itself. So to get rid of that, I need to eliminate this multiplication by negative 19. So I need to divide both sides by negative 19. A lot of you guys probably know this already, okay? So you can do that procedure. You can go actually do the division in your calculator. We get 171 divided by 19, and that's all you have to do. And you guys will get that you got negative 9 for your final answer, okay? So I promise you guys this video will be 10 minutes long. So let's do one last one. Okay, so what would happen here? Do I have to divide or do I have to multiply? Well, since I want to undo that division, I will have to multiply both sides by 16. So I'm actually going to rewrite the whole equation over here. And then I'd like you guys to realize I'm going to put 16 on this side in parentheses and on this side in parentheses too. Don't forget that that means multiply, right? So these cancel out. And in this case, we should have x equals 18 times 16. And 18 times 16 is 288. And you could double check. Like you could go say, okay, is 288 divided by 16, is that really equal to 18? Okay, and if we do our work and says 18 equals 18, that's true, right? Then that tells me, again, this is the solution, because this is the only number that makes it true, all right? This is the biggest idea I wanted you guys to understand. The solution has to make the equation true, all right? Get any other assignments done, please, and I'll see you tomorrow.